waters, the Chief Minister's convoy travelled to parts of Kamrup and Darang districts. And visiting relief camps in Rongia and Darang, Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma gave a patient hearing to the problems faced by the people and directed the respective district administration to ensure all possible assistance. Well, during the visit, Chief Minister Sharma also asked local MLAs to prepare a list of the people whose houses have been damaged by the floods. This, Sharma said, will enable the administration to reach out to them with relief and rehabilitation measures. Well, noting that severe floods have caused a lot of difficulties to the people, Chief Minister Sharma directed officials to address all genuine concerns at the earliest. Meanwhile, speaking to media persons, the Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma said that heavy rainfall on the Bhutan side have made things worse. Admitting that the situation continues to be grim in several parts of the state, Sharma said the district administrations are doing best to take relief to all affected people. Significantly, Chief Minister Sharma informed that almost all marooned people have been brought to safety.
Because of heavy rain in Bhutan and release of water by various tidal generation companies, including Kurishu, water intake has suddenly increased many-fold. Also, there are continuous rain in Assam. So all these things has multiplied the agony or pain of people. In this river itself, there is a breach of embankment in 7 points. In Puthimari, there is an embankment breach in 3 points. In the Manas National Park area also, there is a big breach has happened. So situation is grim. However, district administration is doing their best to provide relief. Today morning, Honorable Prime Minister called me. He expressed his sorrow and he assured complete help from the Government of India side. We will assess the damage and we will try to do our best to give back whatever is possible at our end to the people, to the affected people. NDRF, SDRF, Army, all are doing their best. Fortunately, we could recover most of the maroon people. So relief camp has been established. So people are getting adequate relief material. However, in some area, on the very first day of the flood, it is very difficult. But from second and third day, relief has been picked up. We have used Air Force extensively to drop food stuff. But as of now, we don't have maroon people. So that is why, although they are in standby, we have not asked them to start operation.
We are at Sipajar, and this is NH15, which connects Baihata Chariali with Tejpur. And as you can see, flood water is overtopping the highway at several locations. Vehicular movement has been stopped on this highway as precautionary measure. And right now, you can see Assam Chief Minister Dr. Himanta Biswa Sharma is touring the various flood-affected areas. You can see how the cavalcade of Assam Chief Minister Dr. Himanta Biswa Sharma is wading through this flooded stretch of NH15. He is taking the extra risk of visiting the far-flung areas and taking stock of the flood scenario in Assam. The flood scenario in Assam is grim. 28 out of the total 35 districts of the state are reeling under flood waters. And as you can see, Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma, he is visiting the various trouble-torn areas, flood-hit areas in Assam, and his carcade is also wading through the flood waters. He is taking the extra risk to travel to the far-flung places, meet the flood-affected people, and take stock of the entire scenario today he has visited Dorong as well as Baksar district, and he has taken stock of the situation. He has visited several embankments which has been breached by flood waters, and as you can see, this highway which is right now closed for vehicular movement because flood water is overtopping the highway at several locations. Now, with the Met Department predicting more rainfall in the coming days, the flood situation in Assam might worsen further. Reporting from Ground Zero in Sipajar, this is Arindam Das for Northeast Live.
And onto the big national focus now. In a bid to quell the raging nationwide protest against the Agnipath scheme, the centre today announced a slew of reservations for the Agniveers who will be able to avail the benefit after 4 years of service. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, following a meeting with tri-service chiefs, announced that Agniveers will be able to avail 10% reservation in the Indian Coast Guard and Defence Civilian Post and all the 16 Defence PSUs. Well, this reservation would be in addition to the existing quota for ex-servicemen. 10% reservation has also been put in place in Assam Rifles and CAPF. So, big development at this point in time, viewers, in a bid to quell the raging nationwide protest against the Agnipath scheme. The centre today announced a slew of reservations for the Agniveers who will be able to avail the benefit after 4 years of service. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, following a meeting with tri-service chiefs, announced that Agniveers will be able to avail 10% reservation in Indian Coast Guard and Defence Civilian Post and all the 16 Defence PSUs. But this reservation would be in addition to the existing quota for servicemen, ex-servicemen. Well, 10% reservation has also been put in place in Assam Rifles and CAPF. And earlier, the three service chiefs of armed forces reacted to the prevailing situation and urged youths to not resort to violence. Well, Indian Air Force Air Chief Marshal V.R. Chaudhary said that resorting to violence will not bring in any solution to the issue. He further added that there are many advantages of Agnipath scheme, keeping in view the changing dynamics of warfare.
If you look at the entire scheme in totality, there are many advantages which need to be highlighted. Number one, the domains of warfare are changing. We need younger people, more tech-savvy people in these services. Secondly, for the Air Force in particular, we will benefit from being able to select the more technically qualified people for their particular job that they're going to do in future in the Air Force. The message is not only for people who want to join the armed forces, but as in whole, for the citizens of India. I think it is resorting to violence and arson is not the solution for any problem. The solution lies in understanding the situation, understanding the scheme. If they have got any doubts, there are many military stations, Air Force bases, naval bases around their localities. They can always go to them, get their doubts clarified, and be assured themselves that this scheme is going to be beneficial for them. The first and foremost message I'm telling them is to accept and lead the change. It's a change for the better, it's a change for the future. And first of all, we men and women in uniform should be very clear as to what the change and how it is going to take us into the future.
On the other hand, Indian Navy Chief Admiral R. Hari Kumar has said that he did not anticipate widespread protests like this, and the ongoing uproar has been largely due to misinformation. In what has come as the first reactions of the Indian Navy Chief amidst the row violent over Agnipath scheme, Admiral R. Hari Kumar added that the Agniveer model proposed by the centre is the single largest human resource management transformation exercise in Indian military.
I didn't anticipate any protest like this. This is a scheme in which I was part of the initial planning team, and I worked on it for almost a year and a half. And I now see the scheme coming to a completion. and introduction into the armed forces. It's a transformational scheme, as I said. It will transform the armed forces in many ways. It is I would say, the single biggest human resources management transformation that has ever happened in the Indian military. And this is beneficial for the country. This is beneficial for the youth because it opens up more opportunities. I think the protests are because of misinformation and misunderstanding of the scheme, where earlier one person used to get an opportunity to serve in the armed forces. Now probably three times that number, maybe four people will get an opportunity to serve in the armed forces.
Meanwhile, Indian Army Chief Manoj Pandey said that youth are still not aware about the Agnipath scheme. General Pandey further added that once the youth come to know about the scheme, they will too extend their support.
Let me start by saying that our units and formations are ready to embrace this change. And not only are they prepared, but they are extremely keen to adopt the Agnipath scheme. Our effort will be to spread awareness about the scheme up to the last soldier in the earliest possible time frame. As far as the youth is concerned, I feel they haven't fully understood the contents and the implications of the scheme, and that is why there are some apprehensions in their mind. But once they have fully understood the contents of the scheme, I'm sure that they will realize it is not only for their good, but also for the good of the nation and good of the Indian Army. In the last couple of days, a number of initiatives have been announced by the state governments, different ministries, certain corporate houses, and other agencies. I think all this will only allay their fears and further help them gain confidence in the scheme.
Meanwhile, arson and vandalism continued as protesters opposing the Agnipath scheme took to the streets once again today. And as the ongoing row over Agnipath entered its fourth day today, shocking visuals have come in from Uttar Pradesh's Jaunpur. A flash mob allegedly set fire to a bus in Jaunpur of Uttar Pradesh. Scores of riders descended along the Yamuna Expressway and blocked the traffic movement, prompted the police to lodge an FIR. As many as 225 protesters, while arrest 15 others. In addition to that, fresh violence have also erupted in Bihar's Jehanabad. A violent mob pelted stones on security personnel, apart from setting fire to vehicles in Jehanabad. The incident took place near the Tehta police outpost on the Patna-Gaya highway. And earlier on Friday, several trains were set ablaze in Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, and Telangana. The stir has also spread to streets in Madhya Pradesh, Haryana, Rajasthan, and Delhi. Over 300 trains have been affected, and state governments in Bihar and Haryana resorting to internet shutdowns to curb the growing unrest. In the aftermath of violent protests, the Bihar government has suspended internet and mobile telephone services in many districts. Internet and telecom services will remain suspended till June 19 in 12 districts of Bihar. Moreover, as the agitation spread to the state, the Haryana government suspended mobile internet services and all SMS services in view of law and order situation. The order will remain in force for the next 24 hours. Shifting focus now, with reports of targeted killings in the state of Jammu and Kashmir on the rise, another incident has come to light from the state. In a shocking incident, the body of a police officer was found lying under mysterious circumstances at a paddy field in Sambura. Police have confirmed that the attack on a sub-inspector Farooq Ahmed Mir took place in Pampore area on intervening night on Friday and Saturday. Late Farooq Ahmed Mir was posted in the IRP 23rd Battalion at CTC, Lethpora. As per the preliminary investigation by Kashmir Police, he left his home for work in his paddy field yesterday in the evening, where he was shot dead by militants.
Very unfortunate incident. The sub-inspector was kidnapped and interrogated by these terrorists who were operating over there, and then finally they shot him and killed him. This shows that all these targeted killings that are taking place are only being done at the behest of ISI, because the terrorists in Kashmir Valley do not have that many strength or numbers to confront the security forces head on. This sort of targeted killings will carry on till such time all the underground and overground workers in operating over there in Kashmir Valley are not identified and put behind bars. So it is imperative upon the population of Kashmir now to come up and stand up against all these terrorists and inform the security forces, especially Jammu Kashmir Police, about any known underground, overground worker or any terrorists who are hiding there, so that the security forces can deal with them. The sooner they do it, the better it is, and peace will return back to the valley the soonest.
अल्लाह ही जानता है क्या कहें, किसी को मालूम ही नहीं, से किसी के सामने किसी को मार के नहीं तो बताएंगे उसने मारा, ये मालूम ही नहीं होता है। रात का वाक़ा है, जब सोए सब सो रहे थे
है वो बात, उसमें चोर क्या सुबह इंसान निकलता है घर से, शाम को उम्मीद नहीं आती वापस आएगा, बड़ी निंदा करते हैं, मजम्मत करते हैं।
And on to a big story related to the Naga peace talks at a time when there is a stalemate of sorts in the peace talks, with the NSC and IM standing firm on its separate flag and constitution demand. The group has issued a fresh statement backing its stand. In its latest statement, the NSC and IM has termed the flag and constitution as ingredients of the recognized sovereignty and unique history of the Nagas. The NSC and IM statement added that flag and constitution cannot exist apart from the Naga people, as they are symbols of their identity and hallmarks of nationhood. The statement comes at a time when there is a growing call for reaching a meeting point to find solution to the decade-old Naga issue. In an apparent take on the growing call for early solution, the NSC and IM said that there is no early or delayed solution, but all solutions have to be principle-based. Significantly, the NSC and IM also terms sovereignty the soul of Naga nationhood, while claiming that it is one of the main agreed points of the framework agreement. The NSC and IM statement said that sovereignty does not exist outside the people. The principle of democracy says that sovereignty is with the people, the NSC and IM statement says, adding that it is one of the main agreed points of the framework agreement. Well, taking a dig once again at the political class, the NSC and IM said that while the political leadership may be mandated by the people to fight for their cause, no organization or party is ever mandated to sell out the rights of the people. The NSC and IM also termed its struggle as a national resistance movement and not a secessionist campaign or a domestic problem of India. Meanwhile, the Global Naga Forum, which held a crucial meet with NEDA convener and Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma in Guwahati on Thursday, has sought for the latter's active involvement in bringing a peaceful resolution to the vexed Naga political issue. Shifting focus to Mizoram now, with the disruption of road communication along the Shillong-Silchar route has started to cause a shortage of essential items in the hill state of Mizoram. As such, Mizoram is witnessing panic buying of fuel in the capital city, Aizawl, after a video of severe damages along the National Highway 6 at Lumshnong and Ratachhera stretch in Meghalaya went viral on social media. Long queues of vehicles were seen in front of all the filling stations across the city. It may be mentioned here that the National Highway 6 links National Highway 306, the lifeline of Mizoram, with the rest of the country, through which all the essential commodities, including fuel, are transported to the state. Besides, the State Food, Civil Supplies and Consumer Affairs Department yesterday issued a statement ordering petrol rationing to different categories of vehicles, which further fuel the apprehensions of acute scarcity of oil in the state. All right, my colleague Isaac Zoram Sanga joins us over the phone line to give us the latest on this big development coming in from the state. Well, Isaac, as a fuel crisis seems in the state of Mizoram, as a shortage of essential items can be seen in the hill state of Mizoram, what more updates do you have on your side?
Yes, as per the Food and Civil Supplies Consumer Affairs Department, they have issued notifications that ordering this rationing of petrol to different categories of vehicles. So yesterday they have given the order, and also as a very long end of line in the petrol pump also we have seen, and also yes, the food FCNF department have stated that there are 4 trucks are still on the way to Mizoram who are carrying 4,000 liters each. So these will be distributed to Aizawl and other districts as well. But as of now, they are very shortage of petrol in the state. But the state government have also said that they are going to seek some other possible measures in taking of this petrol and diesel outside the state of Mizoram, Pooja.
Right. We could see a lot of panic buying going on at the fuel stations at this point in time. A video has been surfaced. Now, tell us about the authorities. What are they talking about? How long will this crisis stay on?
Yes, this crisis, due to this crisis, of course, the main route which connects to this Meghalaya, due to these calamities, the road has been damaged. But yes, they are talking about mostly they are not. They are trying to take each one of their own, and this rationing of petrol in the scooty, they can take around 3 liters, and in the two-wheelers they can only take 5 liters. So yes, they are rationing of petrol was had been conducted in the district headquarters. So the state government are trying to take measures regarding this and trying to take some more petrol and diesel in the state.
And Isaac, has the petrol stations set a limit for all the people who have come to purchase petrol, that certain limits has been given, that this much will be filled in the vehicles?
Yes, the state government, not the petrol, not in the petrol pump. The state government has given order or rationing of this petrol.
Okay,
so
okay.
Yes, there are many people have also come, but all the petrol pumps have followed the state government order.
All right, thank you, Isaac, for giving us those details. Shifting focus to some other news now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi's mother has hit a century. Yes, viewers, Prime Minister Modi's mother, Hiraben Modi, entered her 100th year today. On the occasion, Prime Minister Modi visited his mother at a Raisan village on the outskirts of Gandhinagar city on the eve. Well, the Prime Minister washed his mother's feet and sought her blessings. Hiraben Modi lives with a Prime Minister's younger brother, Pankaj Modi.
गाड़ी में बैठ गए हैं बैठ के अब वो बाहर निकलने वाले हैं पांच लोग के लोग जो मिलने के लिए बाहर खड़े थे अभिवादन कर रहे हैं फोटो खींच रहे हैं
હીરાબા પરમ વંદનીય આપણા હીરાબાનો 100મો જન્મદિવસ છે એટલા માટે પૂરા દેશની જનતાને આજે એટલો બધો ઉત્સાહ છે ઉમંગ છે અને લગભગ 6:30 આસપાસ મોદી સાહેબ સોસાયટીમાં બાના આશીર્વાદ લેવા માટે પધાર્યા ખૂબ જ આનંદિત છીએ આજે કે બાના 100મા જન્મદિવસે સોસાયટીમાં દરેક સભ્યોએ પણ પોતપોતાના ઘરમાં પ્રાર્થના કરી છે ગઈકાલ રાતથી જ બધા આતુર હતા ભગવાન મહાદેવજી સોમનાથમાં ભગવતી હીરાબાને હંમેશા સ્વસ્થ રાખે કાયમ માટે સ્વસ્થ રાખે તેવી શુભેચ્છા મંગલ કામના ઈશ્વરને પ્રાર્થના કે હીરાબા હજુ વર્ષોના વર્ષો સુધી આવા જ આશીર્વાદ દેશની જનતા પર રહે.
And while news and updates continue on Northeast Live, so stay tuned for more news. Thank you.
Northeast Live, the most viewed news channel in the region. On YouTube, unmatched coverage.
মই ব্যৱহাৰ কৰোঁ আটাইতকৈ সবল আৰু সতেজ চিমেণ্ট, সূৰ্য চিমেণ্ট। সূৰ্য চিমেণ্ট অটুট ঘৰ, অটুট অসম।